So these fragrances in particular, 10 fragrances that will give you that wow factor, like, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? This is that sort of fragrance, and many of them are different, are intriguing. I love those fragrances. Those are my favorite. Those like, oh my gosh, what is that? You know, but in a really, really good way. Subscribe if you enjoy fragrance videos and you want to smell amazing. First fragrance I'll talk about is from Juicebox, and I have become a big fan of this brand. Many of the fragrances are absolutely just stunning, and I've got like a whole box of like every single one of them because I literally love it. And this is Beet Cafe. This fragrance, I've got it here. Oh, it is a tobacco fragrance, but it's sweet. It's got some cognac notes in there. It's got some coriander, which makes it different. And I love coriander in men's fragrances because it gives it that like vegetal, like cool vibe in a fragrance. It smells delicious, but at the same time, like a fragrance store, it's not too delicious, you know. It's woody, it's warm, it's sexy, it's a bit like animalistic. It's so nice and deep and dark. I just love this fragrance. This is like a wow, like oh my gosh, I need to know the name of this fragrance. Next one is one of those fragrances that I've got on my list to buy since forever because it is amazing and one of my favorite fragrance, Dubois fragrances. It's called Sachra, and guys, like when you apply this, I have tested it, and you apply just maybe 1-2 sprays and it's so strong, so it's totally worth the money. It's really expensive, but guys, the scent, there's so much saffron in there, like woody saffron. It's warm, it's super dry, it's so powerful. It's like, whoa, it's amazing smelling, absolutely amazing. This is one of those fragrances that is really expensive smelling. This one will make you smell like a billionaire. It's amazing. If you can get a hold of it, like grab it and run, because I would steal it from you. This one is just a drop dead amazing, sexy, dry fragrance for men. Absolutely obsessed with it. Next is Sacred Wood by Killian. This is the newer fragrance, and I have gotten loads of samples from Killian, and this one in particular I have tested in store, and it is amazing. It's great. It's woody, but not in that sense that I was expecting it to be really dark. This one is more like, it reminds me of like Wonderwood by Comme des Garçons or something. It's like a quite light but woody scent, and it's so sexy, so good. Like really, Comme des Garçons Wonderwood was in my top 10 sexiest fragrance list. So this is that sort of like sex appeal wow factor fragrance. Amazing fragrance by Killian. Next up is Prada Black. Guys, I keep talking about this, but this is my newfound obsession, and if you watch this channel you can totally tell. I don't know how I missed this fragrance. It just was love at first sniff. I smelled it in a store, I was like, yeah, I'm getting it. It's so good. Oh, I just can't. I can't with this one. It's minty, it's like Play-Doh-y but powdery. It's like nearly gourmand, so edible, but still it doesn't go to that super sweet place. It's just so sensual and addictive, guys. This is a wow factor, definitely. And this one is safe to spray as many sprays you want, and you won't smell like too much because it's like soft but powerful. So this is like just my perfect fragrance. It's so good. I'll recommend it to you guys until every single one of you will be like, yes, Monica, it's amazing, and you'll smell like this. This is just such an amazing scent. You have to go and check it out. Next, let's talk about the fragrance that I again love, wow factor. This one you have to spray quite a lot to be smelled, but this is L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. Amazing, almondy, fresh tobacco scent. It's such a great scent. You know, it's when you smell it and you go fragrance smelling, I guarantee that if you smell this one, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is completely different than like 89% of fragrances that are available. It really gives you that wow factor. Yes, you have to apply more of it, but this is luxe. This is like Parisian chic of a fragrance. This is non-basic. This is different, sexy, and perfect for dates. Light enough to wear during the spring, summer, heavy enough to wear during the winter and autumn. So all just wow. Next up, we've got Cedrat Bois from Mancera. This fragrance is considered like an Aventus dupe, but I don't agree. It's a dupe. It's a different enough fragrance to Aventus. It does have that freshness. It does have that fruitiness, but it's a bit different. It really smells more sophisticated, more well-rounded. It'll give you that wow factor that Aventus now won't, because it's so well known and there's so many dupes. Whereas with Cedrat Bois, it's got that similar DNA. It lasts longer, and it's just like this fragrance that you can just wear every single day. It is very good, and women are obsessed with this DNA, so if you want compliments, this one is also a good one to try, and you can get it at great prices, under £100 at many discounters. So I'll link some deals for you below. Next up, we've got YSL, and I know that I talk about Histoires de Parfums, but I do love Y Le Parfum. I must admit, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is wow. And because YSL is so well known, I would say if you want that wow factor, maybe go for the Le Parfum. I love both, but Le Parfum, it's just a bit newer and it is exciting. It's heavier, denser. Similarly, like with Bleu de Chanel Parfum, you've got that richness. It really smells more expensive than the Eau de Parfum version of Y. So I would say go for Le Parfum, and it's so edible. It's so juicy. I love when fragrances are like, oh my gosh, this smells so good, I want to eat it, because it's just so amazing, you know? That gives you that wow, oh my gosh, it's amazing sort of fragrance on a designer budget. Next, let's jump back to the niche, and I would say Godolphin. This fragrance, like, it's a bit of a throwback, but it's so good. Parfums De Marly, Godolphin. I love saying Godolphin. How cool is it? Godolphin. I love the bottle. I love the scent. It's kind of like in your face leather. And I used to like not be 100% on board with this one, but now I totally love it. I think this fragrance is like, if you want a wow factor, like aggressive, like whoa, this is that sort of a fragrance. It's a bit harsh, but less harsh than some other fragrances that smell similar to this. This is more well-rounded, I would say, of a fragrance. It still has got that oomph, that freshness, not freshness, that harshness that makes you feel like, oh, I'm here, like wow, like look at me, sort of. It's an attention-grabbing, attention-demanding fragrance, and I love it. It's bad, but it's good, you know. It's a great fragrance. To also complement what I said with Y, I have to put Bleu de Chanel Parfum on this list, because again, it is a wow factor fragrance. Even though people know it, it's so good, and especially the Parfum. At the moment, I'm obsessed with the Parfum version. I think it's rich, it's more spicy, it smells more luxe, and I just love it. Maybe it's because I've like smelled Eau de Parfum so much that now like the Parfum is a bit more different, but it is so good. It's a bit more deeper, darker. It's worth owning both versions because they give you that difference. And yeah, I would say Bleu de Chanel gives you impressions and like wow factor anyway, but the Parfum, it's a plus. And the last wow factor fragrance is Amber 114 from Histoires de Parfums. This is a wonderful warm amber, and I feel like Histoires de Parfums does ambery, vanilla-y fragrances so well. My other favorite is Hemingway. It's so good. This one in particular, it's warm. It's got some nutmeg in there. It's a bit spicy. It's so traditionally rich in a fragrance. It's so wow. And if you prefer that wow factor to be quite like dense and just like really thick cloud of fragrance around you, I would say this is a good alternative for you, because this one is like European dense fragrance. Like if you love your Grand Soir from MFK, for example, this is another sort of that like patchouli, ambery, warm fragrance that really gives you that wow factor. And Histoires de Parfums is a bit harder of a brand to get, so this is another plus for those of you who want that wow uniqueness in your fragrance. This one is so sexy, so smooth, and like just yeah, I can imagine somebody being just somewhere like in the French Alps, just in a little cabin, going skiing and smelling like this. It's just so nice smelling. Actually, let me know, where do you guys live? What country? I would love to know where my audience is from. So comment down below, and I would love to see like where my audience is everywhere. Follow me on Insta at Monica_Cioch for more fragrance content. And here, subscribe. Remember to subscribe, because then I know which videos to make more of and I can create more content for you guys. And I'll see you guys all again very soon. Bye.